everybody. Dr. Laura Dabney here, live with you on Facebook. Um, Typically what I do is treat professional men with relationship problems, but I always come to you in this forum because I want to reach across the stratosphere and help all of you out there who've been unable to get help to this point get a little help here, hopefully. That's why I tackle the topics that I hear and deal with most, but also to help you overcome the fear of getting help, whether it's from me or anybody else. Not being afraid or ashamed of your emotional state is sort of my goal. So if you want to reach out to me and tell me how I can do that better, or if I can help you further down that road, please let me know. 757-340-8800. This month, we are talking about traits in a marriage that sound really great on the surface, but always lead to trouble. So we talked about two earlier. What were they? One was we never argue, and the other one was I'm the rock in the relationship. Those two sound great, but they lead to their own troubles. So I wanted to talk this week about the other phrase I hear all the time, and people say this with such confidence and such goodwill. Since I see men mostly, I'm going to put it in terms of male-female, but it could be the other way around, of course. But what I hear a lot is, I let my wife do whatever she wants. She can do whatever she wants. She can work, she can not work, she can be with the kids, not be with the kids, she can go to the spa, go out with her girlfriends. I can't understand why our relationship isn't perfect. I can't understand why our relationship is in a shambles. Well, it's because letting your spouse have free reign to do whatever they want is a problem. What's wrong with that? It really does. It sounds like you're so generous and you're so easygoing. So what could possibly be the problem? Well, there's several underlying layers to that that you don't even know you're giving off when you give that kind of statement. One is you're acting like your roommates. So what's the difference between a roommate where you really don't have any control or say in what they do, and acting like you don't have any say or control or feelings about what your wife or spouse is doing? So you're unwittingly giving the impression that you don't care. Two, there's something called tending to your relationship. And tending to your relationship takes effort, working together, not letting go. Of course, we can let go once in a while, but this persistent, I have no feelings about it. Whatever you say. Also, 3, isn't possibly true. You do have feelings about her going all the time. You should, you have to, because you're a human being, okay? And at some point, you're not being fully honest, and that erodes a relationship, right? You bury the feeling that, hey, you've been gone whatever amount of time, or you're not contributing to the finances, but you complain about mine, or whatever the irritation is. It's got to be discussed, okay? So tending to a relationship, that's the overall theme we're talking about here, means taking the time, the energy, and the space to have quality time with your spouse. We hear about quality time with our children all the time, but we need to have quality time with our spouse as well. That's the only time these really difficult topics are going to come up. You have to protect the space, the time, everything to get that conversation going. I always give the example of, if you're going to if you had something difficult to tell your good friend, like you thought their spouse maybe had a problem or was cheating, or I don't know, you had some news or something to tell her that was difficult, you wouldn't just, during a doubles tennis match say, hey, by the way, right? You wouldn't do that. You get a lunch in a quiet place, your cell phone off, you'd get her full attention, and you talk with her. That's tending to the relationship, and you have to do that with your marriage all the time. So many times I recommend this to spouses who are, they're busy with kids and travel and work and everything, and they just use that as a way to, even if they're not saying, go ahead, whatever, it's implying that when you're not saying, we need to sit down every whatever, Friday, Saturday, Monday morning. Okay. Oh, we don't have a sitter. Oh, we lost our last sitter. Oh, my parents moved, so we don't have a sitter. If your relationship is that important, you'll get a sitter 10 deep. So you won't ever be without a sitter. So every, whatever you name it, every time you have protected time to bring up that whatever is sitting there. You've been gone for, five weekends in a row. We need to, I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm worried about our relationship and our closeness. We need to have a weekend together. Okay. That's caring. That's tending to your relationship. That's being honest. Okay. That's what's going to make the relationship work. You don't get any gold stars for going, go while you sit and steam or pretend you're not steaming. All right. So tending to the relationship involves sometimes pulling in your partner, making sure you're checking in with yourself and your emotions, being honest about it, taking that work to protected time to get these discussions, these talks, these feelings up and out. You can't do that if you're going a million different directions. Okay. Tending to the relationship, a good thing. I'll be talking about this more on Instagram over this next week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.